Good morning, everyone. I'm Christina with Christy Lynn outside. It is mid-morning and it is sweater weather.
Well, you know what? At least the weather's turned.
Oh, sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Oh, God, I was...
Finally, sweater weather. Sweater weather.
It's about time.
God, it's about time.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Oh,
Finally, sweater weather.
God, sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
I'm so excited. It is 59 degrees and the high is only going to be about 72 today. So I'm so excited to be outside. So today I'm just going to plant some garlic with you. This is my it's my second time planting garlic. Hopefully will be my first time actually getting garlic, because last year was a bust. It all disintegrated and I have no idea. I have kind of an idea but what happened, but I'm not really sure. I didn't really water any of it. I planted onions also last fall and they didn't do well either. So I think it just really boiled down to not watering well enough. So let's get started. So I have here 4 bulbs of early Italian softneck garlic from Keen Garlic. I ordered from Keen Garlic because they have packages that can be customized to your area. And since I'm new at garlic growing, I wanted them to pick what they thought would grow best in my area. So early Italian softneck was one of their choices. And they're very nice large bulbs. I guess that's just dirt. Yeah, it comes off well. Very nice large bulbs. So this is a softneck garlic, which grows well in my warm climate, supposedly. Now, in zone 9 and 10, it's usually recommended that you vernalize or refrigerate your garlic for a few weeks before you plant. I did not vernalize this garlic. I'm gonna do like a little test with this one and the other variety that I have. So I'm not vernalizing this one. I'm just gonna plant it straight. And then I'll come back in with the other variety later on in a few weeks, probably late November, after they've fertilized for about 4 to 6 weeks, and plant those and see which ones did better. The other variety that I got was Enchelium Red, which is also another soft neck that is supposed to do well in my warm climate. So what I'm doing here is just tearing away, popping off each clove of garlic, and it looks like there's plenty of large cloves here. Soft neck garlic has more cloves than hard neck garlic usually, and it has a milder flavor than hard neck. Hard neck garlic is more flavorful, more robust than soft neck garlic. But once you start getting more towards the center, the cloves get, well, that one's pretty big. It's nice and wide, but it's pretty flat. The cloves get smaller. Now you can just use these smaller cloves in your cooking and plant these larger cloves in your garden. The larger cloves will give you larger bulbs. So what I'm just going to do here is just break away all of these cloves from each bulb, and then I'll separate them large and small. And this is base plate where the roots were, and that can just go in your compost. Okay, so after making a thorough mess here with all of this garlic paper, I counted my cloves, and I have about 44 large cloves and about 35 smaller cloves. Like I said, you can use the smaller cloves in your food, or I think I might go ahead and just plant these smaller cloves around the garden. Garlic and onions are said to be pretty good natural pest deterrents. So I'll plant those smaller bulbs in my brassica beds, and along with some onions, maybe next month. I have a lot of onion starts coming in the mail from Hoss Tools that I'm gonna plant a couple beds full of onions, but I'm pretty sure that I'll have some extras. So I'll plant those extras also along with the garlic in my brassica beds. That'll help with my natural pest control that I'm trying to achieve, since I don't like to spray much, and I'm not going to be home a whole lot during the fall, because after I plant this garlic, I'm going to the hunting camp. Speaking of garden pests, looks like last night or this morning the neighbor's cat or the squirrels jumped in here and decided to dig in my fresh compost. That's an ongoing problem I have with a lot of my garden beds when I first start them out. I'll smooth those out and lay out all my cloves and figure out how much of this bed I'll be able to cover with these cloves. Then when I'm finished, I'll put a layer of mulch over top, and I'll put wire, either chicken wire or my A-frame wires, over it to keep the cats and squirrels out of it. So what I did here was I smoothed out the compost and drew some lines separating this into approximately 1 square foot squares. This is a type of gardening called square foot gardening. I kind of try to adhere to that a little bit, but I do go a little crazy sometimes. So according to square foot gardening rules per se, I think about 9 garlic cloves can be planted per square foot. I'm probably not gonna go as much as 9. I'll probably do more like 6. I think that might be a better option for me. So I want kind of bigger cloves, and I don't know, I might lay them out and see what 9 looks like, but I think I may go with a smaller number. I do usually get kind of crazy and don't adhere to the square foot gardening rules or methods, and plant more per square foot than I should. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna lay them out and see how it goes. Yeah, I think 6 looks better to me. Look at 9. I don't know. 9 might work. Okay, we're gonna go with it. per square foot it is. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna dig a hole about, so the cloves are about 1 inch in tall. So I'm gonna put them about double the depth of the size of the clove. So I'm gonna go about 2 inches deep. The guidelines is usually 1 to 3 inches, so I think 2 inches is a pretty good compromise there. We're going to plant these pointy side up, flat side down. Flat side where it was attached to the root base, so that's where the roots are going to grow from, and the pointy side is where the neck grew. So the stalk of the garlic is going to sprout from the pointy side. So I'm just going to press it down about 2 inches deep and cover it up with each one. Flat side down, pointy side up. Now if you want to be real technical with the depth, you can use a wooden dowel and measure 1 to 3 inches, and you can just make a little hole with the wooden dowel and drop your clove in, pointy side up. But I'm just kind of going with it, going with the feels. Now also take into consideration that you are going to be putting another 1 to 3 inches of mulch on top of this. So ultimately it's going to be buried much deeper, and it'll be insulated from the cold weather, which we don't really get a whole lot of here. That will also reverse and suck up the leaves that you pile up in your yard and mulch them. And I absolutely love this thing during the fall season, because even though we don't have any actual trees in our yard, all of our neighbors have a ton of mature trees, and it seems like all of the leaves funnel into our yard. So what I do is I try to suck them up with my leaf blower and mulch them into a fine mulch and add them to my compost or scatter them on top of my beds as a mulch. But I also had some pine shavings, some bedding that I had bought as mulch, and I really don't like the size of the shavings. They're a little too large for me, so I decided to suck them up and mulch them and chop them up, and it came out like this, and I absolutely love it. I think this is going to be my go-to from now on. I used to use straw, and I absolutely love using straw, except that straw has a lot of seeds in it. Even the certified noxious weed-free straw has some weed seeds in it. And so I ended up last fall spending half of my time picking the weeds out of the straw instead of enjoying my garden. So I swapped to pine shavings, and I wasn't really very fond of them because they're a little large. But this, I think I'm really gonna love. So what I'll do is I'll just mulch only the part that I planted so that I can remember when it's time to plant my other variety of garlic. I can remember where I left off and fill in those spaces. we go. I think that's a pretty nice start. I'm gonna come in here and give it a nice drench and call it a day. I think what you may have noticed is that I didn't add any fertilizer. Since this is fresh compost from my compost bin, so I think it's going to contain enough nutrients for now to get it started. And then in about a week or two, I'll come in with a good drenching of Alaska fish fertilizer. Usually what I do with my other plants is I'll rotate a fertilizer regimen between a granular fertilizer and a liquid fertilizer. I'll go in with a liquid Alaska fish fertilizer, which has a lot of nitrogen in it. And then I'll come back the next time it's time to feed and I'll sprinkle down some organic balanced granular fertilizer, usually garden tone, tomato tone, plant tone, whatever I get that's on sale. So I think that's what I'll do with the garlic. But in the spring, I will cut down on the nitrogen fertilizer and give the bulbs some time to develop. So I'm just laying these A-frame trellises over this to try to keep the cats and the squirrels out of it until the plants germinate and sprout. Usually when the plants sprout, when the seeds sprout, the cats will leave it alone, but they just love digging around and pooping in fresh compost and mulch that has nothing else in it. They usually leave all the rest of my beds alone that have plants growing in them. So A-frame trellises are a great way, if you're not using them at the time, to just lay over and keep the pests out. Another great option is chicken wire. If I'm using my A-frame trellises, I'll come in with some T-posts or garden posts and put in each corner, or maybe 3 across on each side, and anchor down some chicken wire. That is also a very great solution. Chicken wire is just kind of hard to maneuver around, but it is a great option to keep the cats and the squirrels out. So I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little something along with me. If you have any other pointers, just let me know. I'm open to suggestions for sure, especially since this is the first time I'm really putting some effort into trying to grow some garlic. I know I said that I was gonna pack up and head straight to the camp, but I think I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and enjoy a nice cup of hot tea and just bask in this beautiful weather. I hope you all have a great day and enjoy this. If you're having as beautiful weather as I'm having today, get out there and enjoy it and keep growing. On another video, I'm going to do a little update to my plant it. So you're going to plant it. Pointy side is this. The pointy side is the side that's going to go to pointing to bleh. Okay, so the flat side is where it was intact. Okay, take 3.